My name is Derek Nielsen. This is the CashPT lunch hour. What we're doing here today is I'm going to ask Aaron some questions. So I'm getting set to start on my own practice in about a month and a half. And I'm just going to ask Aaron some questions for what he learned within his first year of going and open up his own practice. So if you're looking to open up a practice soon, or you just started, then this episode is definitely for you.
Awesome. Welcome to the CashPT lunch hour. This is Aaron LeBauer and Derek Nielsen with LeBauer Physical Therapy and LeBauer Consulting.
Okay, so first question is, what is the one thing you would change in your business if you could go back? So thinking about, again, this is thinking about when you first started. So, within a couple years of initially starting, what's one thing you could change if you can go back?
So, what would I do differently? Mm-hmm. Or, what did I do that I wish I didn't do, kind of thing?
What did you do that you wish you didn't do?
Well, it's a good question. A lot of times I say I wouldn't market to physicians, but I didn't know any better then. I think what I would do is go back and learn more about sales. As of today, when we're talking about this, what did I need to do? I needed to learn more about how to sell people into not just physical therapy, but into a life-changing transformation and experience. Something where the value I had to offer, and a lot of that has to do with I've learned all that over the last 10 years, and if I was going to go back and coach myself, that's where I'd start. I'd start off that. Facebook advertising didn't even exist, but internet existed, and that worked well. The physician thing didn't work well, and I got out of that. But if I was going to teach myself one thing, it would be to go back and teach myself how to have a better conversation with people on the phone and how to sell them into physical therapy, which isn't just like selling them a product. It's a whole question, a series of questions, and thought-provoking observations to help people understand what they really want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just kind of to recap, you would learn more how to sell people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's vital, and I think a lot of people think it's all about selling a used car, but really it's helping people understand what they want.
So what did you spend your time on instead of learning to sell? What was your way of trying to get people to buy your what you were selling?
Mm-hmm. Well, kind of the things that I did that worked was, I hustled. I made lists. So who am I going to contact today, and who am I going to go visit today? And I just had these lists, and I just go down the list and just, I got to make 10 phone calls today. I hated making phone calls. I didn't really know what to say or to offer. But that's what I did. I did that. I did internet search optimization, which isn't as important now as it was then, even though it's still important. I spent time building out email sequences and offering valuable information on my website in exchange for name and contact information. My follow-up sequence was probably a little bit too much, offering the how rather than saying this is what you need and this is why you need it. Mm-hmm. So if I went back, I would say do more the how and the what you need, and I'll offer not the how, the why and the what you need, and I'll offer the how you're going to get there. Mm-hmm. So how to do it. And I spent a lot of time worrying about ads to put in a health magazine and going to monthly networking meetings where other people were just there to sell me on their product, not to network and connect and see how we could build each other's businesses. I wasted a lot of time with that, but I didn't really know what to do. I didn't want to join the Chamber of Commerce. So I think the key piece is getting people to call you and contact you and having an appropriate conversation with them.
So when you first started, what was the best way that you were getting leads?
Networking.
Okay.
Going out and meeting other people. The best way I got leads was to get people to land on my website, go get in front of people. I did presentations, workshops. Everyone I talked to, everyone, it was like, okay, I gotta get you, can I get you my free book? Can I get you some information? Can I get you my free newsletter? At that time I had a newsletter that would come out every other week, like twice a month. I started with once a month and I did twice a month. A few years ago I transitioned from a newsletter to just a blog broadcast because it was basically the same thing, and the blog had a little bit more power to it. But that's what I was doing, and that was in 2008. So a lot of things have changed since then. But it was to go out and hustle and meet people, work with people, ask patients to refer their friends, and just really kind of hit all different avenues of, if this is helping you, can you tell your family and friends about us?
Gotcha. Okay. What's one thing that you wish you had more time to do in your practice today that you're not doing?
That's a good one. So what do I want more time to do in LeBauer physical therapy?
Yep.
Okay. Probably.
I should have given you these questions first.
No, that's okay. but I'm like, well, I've got a lot of it. Right now with just you and me, it's running, and like you said the other day, it's kind of floating. Like, because of all the work I put in years ago, the systems are running, and we're getting enough new patients to keep us busy. One of my goals is to add another physical therapist. So what I need more time to do is to go in and kind of fill out some of the offering and go back and revise some of the email sequences, because they're 10 years old. So I need to go back and revise them with my current language, current offer, and so that we can start growing more people. I need to go, in order to hire another PT, I need to go feed the machine a little bit. I need to feed the system so that we can get more patients out of the system, and I'll have like a need to hire someone else. Right now we could probably do it and grow into it, but we don't have it's not an absolute need.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to have time to go back in and maybe make 1 or 2 more ebooks, go through my email sequences, and probably spend 10 to 12 hours in them, touching up some of the language, just because I haven't done it in 10 years. And because the way that I sell physical therapy is very different now than it was when I set up a lot of these emails. So I've gone through them like 3 years ago briefly, but it wasn't enough to really make it a huge difference. I just went and added a few little things here and there, but I need to go back through and kind of rethink some of them. At the same time, they're working, so it's like, can I make them work a little bit better?
Right. Yeah, that was my next question, is what you think of bringing in new patients. So what's, to draw off of that, is what's one thing you wish you had more time to do right now that you think would bring new patients into the door? Is that what it would be?
There would be that, because that's the back end system to anything that I would do, go out and out into the community. So if my back end system is super solid, then I can go out and see if I can teach more yoga workshops, more running workshops with the running stores, and that I've already done workshops and talks with, and then go out and say, can I make new connections? Can I do some more talks for you guys? And the end of those talks, it's if you want, I've got handouts and videos and resources for you. Be sure you sign into the class, leave your name and email address, and I'm going to email you the links and videos and downloads that you need that go with the class today, so you can have them later. And then people get put into my email sequence. So what I need to make sure is, like right now it works and we could go do that, but we've got plenty of people in my email sequence that I'd like to increase the conversion rate from within the email sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Versus when people call us, and we've been working on this in the last year, when people call us, our conversion rate has gone way up. So when I hired Sarah, I worked on it with her, and we worked on it together. Our conversion rate went up. Then we did a lot more training and work on it when we hired you, and our conversion rate has gone way up, and it's great. So now what we need to do is get our conversion rate from the email sequence higher, so that getting more people to call us or email us for the things that we're offering, the strategy sessions, body diagnostic, the free consultation, etc.
Okay. So by getting it higher, do you mean have more call to actions within the email, or I guess how do you get them to call how would you get them to call you?
So it would be for me to go back in and look at the emails, because a lot of them I gave that how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, try these 3 things at home. Versus this is what the problem is, and this is what you need to do about it. Okay, if you want to learn how to do it, make sure the call to action is congruent with the message in the email, and say, okay, if you want to learn how to do this, if you want us to look at your whole body and see how your whole body's moving, then give us a call today and we'd be happy to hop on the phone with you for even 10 minutes just to go over your options with you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my elite mastermind students yesterday was saying that one of her recent patients, she didn't think, she's charging like $180 something dollars. She's like, she's never going to do it. This person became a patient. And one of the things she told her after the first visit or at the second visit was, no one's ever looked at my whole body before. They've only just looked at my back where it hurts. No one's ever looked at my whole body. Thank you so much. This is exactly why I'm here. And, I looked at her and I said, well, that's awesome. Now you need to use her exact words and language and repeat that back to your other patients. Like, do you want someone to look at your whole body? Because a lot of people are going and they're just getting their knee. The therapists are calling them, how many knees did you treat today? How many shoulders did you? I saw like 10 knees and 15 shoulders. I see people. You and I see people. Other people are seeing knees. So when you treat a knee, you only look at the knee. And a lot of people think they have to get a script to go look at the back, which they don't. You just actually need to look at the back, the person's back. And then they might find out what the real problem is, and people won't be so frustrated. But they don't have as much time as you and I do. They maybe not have the clarity or of purpose of what they're doing.
Gotcha. Okay, let's play a little. We're going to call this game a double down or forget about it. Okay, so some of this stuff you've already asked a little bit. So I'm just going to run through it, you can reiterate kind of what you said here. So double down or forget about it. Workshops in the clinic.
Well, if you got a lot of time, double down. I think it's good. I think it can be a good. I've done it like once.
Okay.
And we've got one coming up. I usually do them at other people's location.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say forget about it, because it could totally work for you if you have the space. So if you're showing up to somewhere and you don't have the space, forget it. If you only got room for 3 people, forget about it. Do like free consultations. If you've got a nice location, you can fit 10 to 15 people comfortably, double down on it.
Okay. I guess the follow-up question to that is, so I'm worried, I've got the space where I'm going, but I'm worried about people signing up and not showing up. And I want to make it free, but how do I make sure that people sit in the seats?
Yeah. You have to give them a compelling reason to show up. They have to understand the value. Part of it is to say, look, is to create scarcity. So you could say, look, you're going to pay me $15 now and it's fully refundable. And you show up. Some people will come, less people will show up. Okay, less people will come. You could, if you do that, you could refund at the end, or you can say, hey, look, let's get you in if they can become a patient, we will apply what you paid today towards your first visit if you want to have a call with me at the end or stay afterwards and have a conversation. Okay, otherwise, let's get on the phone and I'll refund it to you over the phone, but you have this conversation. That's fine. And if you do, but I wouldn't do that until you try a bunch of them and no one you get 15 people showing up and 15 people scheduling and 2 people showing up.
Yeah.
The first few I would do it free, but you're going to create scarcity by saying, like, this is where this is a $50 program. This program's worth $50, or it's got a $150 value because of all the information you're going to get. Because it's an hour of your time, it's $150 value. Normally we sell these for just $49, but I've got I want to invite you to join me as my guest. I can only do this for 4 or 5 people a week, and as long as you make it to the visit, make it to the workshop, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly how to do X, Y, and Z based on the things you have in a conversation with them. So if you can have a conversation with them and they say, I'm having trouble snowboarding, skiing, walking with my kids, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do, and we're going to teach you how to know exactly what's the problem is so that you can get back to doing these valuable things in your life. If you're doing just like an online sign-up, you want to include the 3 or 4 benefits that most of your patients achieve. Like, hey, I'm going to show you how we look at your whole body to find out what the problem is. You will learn. You also want to use language in U-term. This is something I've learned recently from this guy, Joel Weldon, who's like 80 years old. His funny thing is his social security number is 5. That's his funny introduction. My Social Security. I'm so old. My Social Security number is 5. Well, what you want to do is you want to use a lot of language. Like you want to talk to them, one person, singular, you. So you will learn how, when we look at your whole body, we find out what's wrong and get people better. Get you better faster. You'll be so excited to learn that it doesn't have to take weeks and months or even unnecessary. Like it doesn't take weeks or months or an MRI to know exactly what's going on. Mm-hmm. We can find out what's going on with you in just 20 minutes, and tell them what you're going to learn. And then, hey, and if you like what you hear, you'll also learn some ways you can work together with us afterwards if you're interested in fixing your back.
Cool. Okay. So, kind of gets to reiterate that one. It's build scarcity and value.
Yeah. So limited number of seats. Like you've only got 5 to give away, but you can give away 15 because everyone's like, wow, 10 of these people are paying $50, or they'll think that, like, so it's a group class. Like your time, you're only there for that 1 hour and a half. Everyone else is, and so that's your time. But everyone else doesn't know that everyone else got it free if you use like this scarcity. Mm-hmm. It's not a trick. It's a way to get people to take action because most people won't get off the couch. And how do we get someone to feel like this is valuable enough to take action and show up? Without charging them. Mm-hmm. And we only do this once a month. There's only 5 seats available, and you can invite a bunch of friends to fill in some seats.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. Makes sense. Okay. Double down and forget about it. Facebook ads.
Double down. But forget about it if you don't have an email follow-up sequence, if you don't have a valuable offer to make.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Double down and forget about it. Making your own swag.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. I mean, what do people want? They want pens, charms,
shirts.
I wouldn't go spend the money on that yet. I'd spend the $250 on T-shirts on ads right now.
Okay.
I know you've got your back-end systems. Instead of going and buying T-shirts that people are going to wear around and go, ooh, that looks cool. It's not going to. You're not going to put it on the back of your T-shirt, get your free ebook here, go to this website. So, do I have LeBauer physical therapy shirts?
Like 2. Yeah,
they're 2. My dad and my uncle.
I've got one.
Oh, you've got one. That's right. So I got 3 of them. So 3 of them. My dad and my uncle wanted golf shirts. I think I was ordering them, and I was like, well, let me get one for Derek. Those are the only 3. I don't even have one myself.
Okay, double down and forget about it. Posting consistently on social media. One thing I know you're bad at.
Yes, double down on it.
Double down, okay.
Yeah, post consistently on social media. For a lot of things, don't look to me like as the perfect example of like how to run social media for your clinic, because like we're busy enough from all the stuff before social media was an issue that's not what I'm concentrating on right now, because my goal is not to have a clinic in Greensboro and Winston and High Point and DC. It's to do this and also help other people run their business. So, but for you, post consistently, definitely.
Okay. Double down and forget about it. Facebook group for your patients.
I'd say forget about it.
That's what I was hoping.
Yeah. I would make a Facebook group for your like clinic.
Right.
For your free group for your clinic. But I think a lot of times I think there's a lot of camaraderie in like a bigger clinic where everyone's treating out in the open and there's 20 people there an hour and all that stuff, and people are like, oh yeah, other people get to commiserate with what they're going through. But I find that my patients are much more, I think when they come in and if they come in for the first visit and they see a friend of theirs checking out, it helps them buy in. But I don't think patients really want to go to Facebook to connect with other people. Yeah. Like, hey, I'm hurting too. You're hurting. Oh, like, I just don't feel like that's the thing that they want. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I would rather put my effort for them in other areas.
Yeah. Okay, double down and forget about it. I guess this is an and or question. Going to marketing seminars or clinical skill seminars?
From now, for you,
Okay, yeah, for me.
For Derek, marketing seminars.
Okay.
If you want to run a business, if you want to be successful at business, you need to learn business. If you want to, I mean, you probably have like, I would say, for all the continuing ed you've done this year, you could use just that for the next 3 or 4 years until you actually, for the next year and a half till you have to take something. But when I was learning, I would go to one 3-day Con Ed course and I'd practice those skills for a year and then go to another one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd practice them for a year and I'd go to another one. So for right now, you need to learn more marketing business.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where I would concentrate on, is perfecting what you've learned. I wouldn't even go to another something this year for you. I would perfect what you learn until you get the cash flow coming in with your new business to support the next thing, which is something you want to do.
Yeah, okay. Which I'm going to a seminar for dry needling.
Yes,
this week.
but that was planned. that was planned and part of this program here. But after that, like, you don't need to do number 3 for the dry needling unless you get to a point where, like, I really need to treat these muscles. You don't need to do that for, until 2019.
Okay. Double down or forget about it. Offering free treatment.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't offer free treatment, a free conversation, whether that's on the phone or in person. Those are the things that are going to help. Like we've been doing with discovery visits, how you figured out how to roll them into a paid session, right? It's free treatment brings out the vampires, the people that they're just there for the free and they won't stick around for the paid version.
So, yeah. Free treatment to, let's say people in your area. So I'm going to present to a gym.
Mm-hmm.
Free treatment to the personal trainers.
If you want to do this is kind of how I would do that. You could demonstrate there, get a volunteer to demonstrate on, if for like a group. If you're, I think it's always, this is tricky because it's nice to give, you give them free treatment, but then they don't see the value. They might not see, I would do that for $150.
Right.
So you could do free 15-minute discovery visits with them. You could do 15-minute, you could do like something like an FMS or like a quick, you could show them what's wrong. Like you could say, look, I'm going to come in, why don't you come in and I'll show you, take you through the SFMA and I'll show you what's wrong. Here's what you need to do to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like, I can show you exactly how. If you want to come in I would recommend 4 or 5 treatments.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show you how to fix it.
Okay.
So then you could do that for free for these people, show them your skill in evaluating, and maybe demonstrate 1 or 2 treatment techniques with them. And say, look, I'd like to show you how to do that. If you'd like to come in, you can say, look, because you're doing this is what I charge. But I'll give you a special rate if you want to pay ahead for 4 or 5 of them. 5 of them together, you pay ahead, we give you a 10% discount.
Gotcha.
Just like you might for other people. Because then what they're going to do, Derek, is then they'll see the value of coming to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And all you need is that one person to understand the value who's treating a bunch of people, and they'll come in.
Okay. Double down and forget about it. Giving kickbacks for referrals.
Of course, no. Forget about it. So many people want to be like, well, how do I thank someone for a referral?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I don't know what I'm going to do.
What do we do here when someone refers us a patient?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And what else?
Well, send them a letter.
Yeah, handwritten thank you note.
Yeah.
Have you written? Sarah does most of those.
Yeah.
So we just sit down, get some nice stationery, and write a handwritten thank you note. Thank you very much for sending us your referral and trusting me with your clients.
Maybe we should give them a LeBauer t-shirt.
We could give them a LeBauer t-shirt. I have one person that who sent me a bunch of patients, and the years he sent me a bunch of patients, I'll go by during Christmas and bring them a bottle of wine and visit and chat, and did I bring him a t-shirt when I had one? I don't know, I can't remember.
So probably not.
Yeah. It was someone like not one, but this was like he referred like a dozen people, versus it wasn't a patient that referred. It wasn't necessarily like I wouldn't go to a patient's house and do that.
Yeah.
But this was another gym owner who did that. So.
Okay. Double down and forget about it. Trying to sell people on like a program like a yearly checkup or bi-yearly checkup.
I think it's a great idea. I would say. But for you right now, I don't know. I'm bi-yearly checkup. Like, what are the details?
Yeah, so they come in, every 6 months and movement screen. Get a kind of a checkup, see how they're moving, talk to them about how they're feeling. And I think it would be at somewhat of a discounted rate rather than a normal session.
Mm-hmm. So, like, pay ahead?
That'd probably be the best way to get them in, yeah.
I mean, you could even, does the dentist do that to you? Do you pay ahead to the dentist to get your teeth cleaned?
No, but they've already got systems in place where it's like ingrained.
Right. I think it's a tough sell.
Yeah.
I would say right now, forget about it, because it's a much harder sell than helping someone who's in pain or has something wrong. It's easier there's a lot more people that need that. I mean, I think wellness is great, but hey, I'm going to get you in twice a year to just make sure that everything's working fine, and you're going to pay me $50 a month for that, or you're going to pay me $300 right now for the rest of the year to do that. That's a tough sell.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. You kind of answered this one, but what's the biggest waste of money you invested in your business which didn't have the return you hoped for?
Advertising in a local health magazine.
I
think I paid $2,000 worth of ads, at least $2,000 worth of ads, and about $1,000 or $1,200 in getting the ad creative made by the local designer guy. So I probably spent about $3,000, $3,500. Plus, I wrote an article for the paper every month or every other month for this magazine. I got one patient out of it. She came to see me like 8 times, sent her daughter. So I think I might have broken even. But for the time, effort, and money I spent on it, it wasn't. I mean, and she found my ad the very first month I put it in there. So I had this ad in there for 24 straight months, slightly different ad after a while. It didn't bring people in. And part of it wasn't the right ad, but I changed it to a direct response ad at some point in the second year, and it still didn't bring people into my ebook or my system. And part of maybe my systems weren't right either, but I wasn't getting phone calls who say, "Oh, I saw your ad in the Triad Health magazine," or whatever it was called. And so, that was a print advertising. I wouldn't do that yet.
Have you done any print advertising after that?
Nope.
Okay.
Other than we print our logo and USP on our little 4-inch balls that we give out.
Right.
That's the only print advertising, but I give those away and use those for workshops.
Okay. Last one. What's the best investment you ever made in your business?
This is a great question. Myself. So working with a coach, going and doing online business courses, and going to business mastermind meetings. I just met with my coach yesterday. I mean, I started working with a new coach this year. I met with him first time yesterday, and he gave me, great plans and things to do. I've already implemented them. I did it. I put it into play this morning. And the thing that I put into play this morning is going to make me thousands more, 10x versus what I've already paid. What I've already paid him. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna get back, over the course of the next 3 to 4 months, more money than I've already paid him for the whole year of coaching, just from this one suggestion that he made. So, coaching, working with mentors, online courses, in-person, business workshops, all those for business is the best thing that I've ever done. Yeah.
And then making sure that you have follow-up.
Yeah, follow-up and taking action.
Yeah.
So a lot of people go and learn a bunch of stuff and they don't do anything with it. I can't do this, I can't do that, this isn't working, I can't get new patients. Well, have you followed through with everything? I probably haven't. And a big problem is people think that it has to be perfect to publish, to get it out there. It has to be minimum viable. It has to be minimally viable readiness. I mean, it needs to work, but it doesn't need to be pretty or perfect or have all the components. Mm-hmm. Okay. And people just forget that you just don't take action. So investing in yourself and taking action.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll just say that what Aaron teaches. Literally, I've been here for almost 11 months, and he puts very little time into this business. Like I said at the beginning, it floats on its own. So if he wanted more patients, I know he could get them. But his drive isn't into the business right now. It literally floats on its own, so he knows how to make it work for you without having to put too much time and effort into it, for sure.
Yeah, I put a ton of time in 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. That's what I meant. On the front end, put a lot of time on the front end,
Yeah.
but then it just kind of works on its own.
Yeah. I mean, I would before I started doing the consulting, Tuesday, Thursday mornings, I go to yoga at 9:30 and chill out. What am I gonna do today? I did that for about 2 years, and then I started helping more people, and went, okay, now my goal is to help more people create successful businesses, so together we can help more patients, because 25 patients a week isn't enough patients for me.
So if you were to go back today and restart, a business from scratch, let's say, how long do you think it would take you to get to 25 patients a week?
I would hope that it would take me less than 6 months, because I got to 20 in 1 year. My first year 10 years ago, I had 6 patients my first week, and by the summer I was in double digits. Maybe late spring I was in double digits, and then by the end of the year I was at 18 to 20.
Okay.
So it should, that was all I was doing, and it was the only income we had. I didn't have a cushy home health job to fall back on.
Yeah.
Which is, I find is a great option, but a lot of people I talk to nowadays, they're too comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would hope that it would take me less time. I know there are people that have 20 patients scheduled the first week they open. So, I can't guarantee that for anyone or for myself, but I would think with what I know now, I would start, my rates would be high. I would get people in, and within, a few months I should be in double digits, if not the 20 something.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Anything else you need to know?
You're just an office away.
Thanks. Don't forget to tell everyone goodbye.
You do it.
This is for the CashPT lunch hour. This is Aaron LeBauer and
Derek Nielsen.
thank you guys so much. See you next time.